Dear friends, in this video we will discuss law of dominance and monohybrid testicles. Also at the end of this video, I will give some previous year's NEET and CSIR UGC NET questions. I am uploading biology educational videos on NEET, CSIR, NET, other competitive examination. If you are interested, please subscribe and enable the bell icon to get my upcoming videos. Let's get started. Let's start with law of dominance. You know Gregor Johann Mendel, he is known as the father of genetics. He developed this law of dominance based on monohybrid cross. So first of all, we should have an idea about what is monohybrid cross. Monohybrid cross is a cross in between two organisms which differ in a single character. Mendel selected garden pea plants for his experiment. So here the garden pea plant is the organism, and in this garden pea plant he selected a character. The character is stem height, and this character is having two contrasting traits. For stem height we are having two traits, tall or dwarf. I have done another video on characters, traits, genes and alleles. Actually, these are some basics to this topic, concept of dominance. If you have any doubt in these topics, please watch that video. I have given the link in the description and also in the comments. Now let's assume a monohybrid cross in between a tall and dwarf pea plants. Mendel selected pure lines or true breeding lines for his experiment. Means he selected this tall plant as a pure line and dwarf plant also as a pure line. So what is pure line? Pure lines are nothing but they are homozygous. You know, tallness is controlled by a gene. This tallness can be controlled by capital T, or it can be controlled by capital T, small t. But when Mendel was starting an experiment, always he was selecting only true breeding plants. What is true breeding plant? That will be homozygous. So how can we get a homozygous plant? We can get a homozygous or a pure line plant by continuous self-pollination. If you are continuously self-pollinating this tall pea plant, finally we can get a homozygous tall plant. So plant is also homozygous, small t, we can consider small t. Then he conducted cross hybridization between this tall and dwarf plant. For that he just considered tall plant as male and dwarf plant as female. For cross hybridization, he collected male gametes from tall plant and female gametes from dwarf plant. So you know, first of all, the plants will be producing gametes. You already know gametes are formed by meiotic division. Meiotic division is nothing but reduction division. Remember, the parent plant is diploid. Capital T means this plant is diploid and this plant is also diploid. Now they are producing gametes. Gametes will be always haploid because gametes are produced by meiotic division. This will be producing only one type of gamete, capital T. This will also form only one type of gamete, small t, because they are homozygous. Remember, homozygous plants will be producing only same kind of gametes. This will also form gametes by meiotic division. Here you have to remember this tall plant is having two capital T, and this dwarf plant is also having two small t. But the gamete is having only one capital T because gametes are haploid. Remember, haploid cell will be having only one gene. This is diploid. Diploid cell will be having two genes for a particular trait. So when these capital T and small t are combining together, we'll be getting a zygote. What will be the genotype of the zygote? Zygote will be having capital T, small t, because they combine together. Actually, this is zygote. This zygote will be having capital T, small t. You know, zygote will be always diploid because zygote is produced by the fusion of two haploid male and female gametes. So zygote will be diploid so that this zygote will be having two alleles. What is the phenotype of this heterozygous plant? Mendel observed that all the progeny which are produced in F1 generation, this is called F1 generation, he observed all plants as tall. For example, this parent plant is having 30 centimeter and dwarf plant is having 10 centimeter height. Then what will be the height of the plant which is produced in F1 generation? You know, this parent tall plant genotype is capital T, capital T. But this F1 progeny tall plant genotype is capital T, small t. Then what will be the height of this tall plant? Mendel observed all the F1 progeny or all the tall plants which are produced in F1 was also having same height. If it is 30 centimeter, this F1 progeny will also have same 30 centimeter. If you take a capital T and small t, you know, capital T is responsible for increasing height. You know, capital T for tallness. What about small t? Small t is responsible for reducing the height for dwarfness, or this is for dwarfness. But when this capital T and small t come together, even the small t is responsible for reducing the height, but capital T will be completely dominant over small t. Since this capital T is completely dominant over small t, this small t cannot be expressed. So we will be getting the same height, that is 30 centimeter. And this concept is called dominance or complete dominance. Actually, we are discussing about complete dominance. And what is then complete dominance or law of dominance? According to Mendel, in a pair of dissimilar factors, we can take a pair of dissimilar factors like capital T, small t. You know, capital T is a factor, small t is a factor. Remember, factor and genes are same. They are synonyms. So capital T, small t, it is a pair of dissimilar factor. When these two different factors come together, what happens? This dominant factor or capital T will be completely dominating the small t. So even small t is responsible for reducing the height, or it is responsible for dwarfness. This dwarfness cannot be expressed here. Instead, we will be getting complete dominance. We will be getting a tall plant, and also this tall plant will be having the same 30 centimeter. If we take the tall plant as the parent plant as having 30 centimeter and dwarf plant as having 10 centimeter. And for this law of dominance, we are having mainly 3 points. The first point is characters are controlled by unit factors. Already we explained all characters are controlled by factors or genes. And also in diploid organism, you know, they occur in these factors or gene occur in a pair because they are diploid. And also in a pair of dissimilar factor. If you take a capital T, small t, in a pair of dissimilar factor, one factor dominates the other. This is the main important part of this law of dominance. Now how can we confirm this F1 progeny is having heterozygous genotype? Once again we can draw this cross. Now we have to confirm the genotype of this F1 progeny. We are assuming that its genotype will be capital T, small t, but we are not sure because we cannot see the gene in the cell. Genes are nothing but DNA, we cannot see DNA in a cell with our naked eye. Then how can we confirm this F1 plant is having heterozygous genotype? So for that we can conduct a test cross. We can conduct a monohybrid test cross. Monohybrid test cross is nothing but crossing this F1 progeny with its recessive parent. We are crossing this F1 progeny. This is our F1 progeny. This is crossed with the recessive parent. After crossing between this F1 tall plant and the recessive parent, every time he was getting only tall and dwarf plants in 1:1 ratio. Every time he was getting this progeny in 1:1 ratio. If you are getting 1:1 ratio, what will be the conclusion? In this 1:1 ratio, we are going to confirm the genotype of this plant. How can we confirm the genotype of this plant? We are just assuming if the F1 progeny is having the genotype capital T, and of course, you know, the dwarf parent plant is having small t. We can just assume if this is a genotype. If this is a genotype, this will be able to form only capital T. This will be always forming only small t. When they are combining, always we will get tall. Means 100% progenies will be always tall because always the genotype will be capital T, small t. But this was not the result produced by Mendel. Mendel was getting 1:1 ratio. Then how can we get this 1:1 ratio? Now we can check F1 with genotype capital T small t crossing Dopf plan. Will be able to form capital T and it can also produce small t. This will be always forming small t. When these two are combining, we can get a genotype capital T small t and this will be small t small t. This zygote will be developing into a tall plant, this will be developing into a Dopf plant. So this is the way we are testing the genotype of F1. So of course we'll be getting 1:1 ratio, 1 tall is to 1 Dopf, means 50% of progeny will be tall and 50% will be Dopfness. In this way we are confirming the genotype of F1 progeny. It is having capital T small t genotype. Now we have derived monohybrid test cross ratio. Monohybrid test cross ratio is nothing but 1:1. In NCERT, this monohybrid test cross is not well explained. The test cross for F2 progeny is given in detail. Next we have to check F2 genotypic and phenotypic ratio. So for producing F2 generation, Mendel self-hybridized this F1 progeny. So these are the F2 zygotes. So when we check the phenotype, you know, this capital T is homozygous and these two are heterozygous. All these genotype will be producing the same phenotype that we have already explained. It will be tall. If you are conducting selfing in between the progenies of the F1 generation, we can get F2 progenies. Let us assume this as male parent, this as female parent. This plant will be producing capital T small t. This plant also produces capital T small t. Now we have to check the formation of zygote. Let's consider this is combining with this one and producing capital T capital. So when we check the phenotypic ratio, we can easily get 3:1. 3 tall is to 1 Dopf will be produced in the F2 generation. So this is the F2 phenotypic ratio, 3:1. Then what is the genotypic ratio? How many different types of genotypes are observed here? Now we can check the genotypic ratio. How many different types of genotypes are produced in F2? We have got only one homozygous capital T, and we got two heterozygous capital T small t, and finally we got one small t small t. So how many different types of genotypes are there? We have 3 different types of genotype. We have the F2 monohybrid genotypic ratio as 1:2:1, means 1 capital T, 2 capital T small t, 1 small t small t. So this is the F2 monohybrid phenotypic and genotypic ratio. Actually we have produced this F2 progenies using F1 generation. If we check the F1 generation's genotype, we have seen capital T small t, capital T small t. During gametogenesis, this will be producing 2 types of gametes. And if we check these 2 gametes, we can say that each gamete is having an equal frequency of 50% of receiving either capital T or small t. Remember, we are having capital T small t here. This gamete can either receive capital T or it may receive small t. In the same way, this gamete is also can receive either capital T or small t, and that frequency for receiving capital T or small t, that will also be 50%. Means we can say 1/2, 50% capital T plus 50% small t. Using this, we can develop a binomial expression. If we square this, 1/2 capital T plus 1/2 small t whole square is equal to, actually this is a plus b whole square. If we consider this as a plus b whole square, we will be getting a square plus 2ab plus b square. A square will be 1/2 t whole square. 1/2 t whole square will be 1/4 t square. T square we can write capital T plus 2ab. So 2ab means we can multiply 2 with 1/2 t, 1/2 small t, 1/2 capital T, 1/2 small t. We will get 1/2 capital T small t, means 2ab, 2 1/2 into 1 by 2, 2AB. So that will be 1 by 2 capital T small t. And finally we are having b square. What is b square here? We can take this b square as 1 by 2 small t square. 1 by 2 small t square means 1 by 4 small t square means we can write small t small t. We can develop a binomial expression. Actually, you might have seen this equation in your textbook. So this is actually the derivation for this equation. So remember this. And this equation is actually representing the F2 genotypic ratio. If you observe this 1 by 4 capital T, 1 by 2 capital T small t, 1 by 4 small t, this is nothing but the F2 genotypic ratio. 1 capital T is to 2 capital T small t is to 1 small t, because both of these are same. 1 by 4 capital T, 1 by 2 capital T small t, 1 by 4 small t is nothing but 1 capital T, 2 capital T small t, 1 small t. This is actually our F2 genotypic ratio. In monohybrid cross, we have seen F1 generation. Already we explained all this, and in F1 generation we have produced tall plants. All progenies were tall, and also we have got their genotype is capital T small t. Every F1 progenies are having heterozygous genotype. That we have confirmed using test cross. Now the question is that if you come into the F2, so listen, we have got F2 and we have got 3 tall is to 1 dwarf, and we already explained this. This is the F2 phenotypic ratio. Now we have to check the genotype of F2 tall plants. Already you know the genotype of dwarf plant will be small t, that we already know. Because if you are continuously self-pollinating, this will be producing only dwarf plant. That means this will be having homozygous recessive, that we have already confirmed. Now we have to check the genotype of tall plants. If you observe these 3 tall plants, first one is capital T, remaining 2 are capital T small t, capital T small t. So if I consider the height of this plant, if this is having 30 centimeter, this capital T small t will also have same 30 centimeter. Means observing a tall plant, I cannot differentiate between heterozygous and homozygous, because I can see only the phenotype. I cannot see the genotype, whether they are tall or dwarf. That much only we can observe. Even the genotype is capital T here, capital T small t here. I cannot see the genotype because this we cannot observe with our naked eye. Only we can observe the phenotype. So both plants are having same height. Then how can I differentiate the genotype of these 2 tall plants? Or if I have got an F2 tall plant, suppose if I have got an F2 tall plant, how can I confirm the genotype? Whether this tall plant is having capital T or this plant is having capital T small t. How can I confirm the genotype of this tall plant? We can use the same method that we have already explained. So here also we will be using the same cross, that is test cross. F2 tall plant. F2 tall plant means this tall plant is having an unknown genotype. This will be crossed with a recessive parent. Recessive parent genotype is already understood. In this case, recessive parent is dwarf. This dwarf plant is having small t, that we already know. But this tall plant can have capital T, or it can have capital T small t, that we are not knowing. Then how to identify the genotype of this unknown F2 tall plant? We can conduct a test cross. For your convenience, I will take the same example which is given in NCERT textbook. We can take, that is flower color in pea plant. Flower color is a character. It is having 2 traits. What are the 2 traits of this flower color? The dominant trait is violet and recessive trait is white. So first we can conduct a monohybrid cross considering this flower color. For violet flower, We can consider the genotype as capital W, capital W. This we can take small w, small w. As you know, this parent will be able to form only one type of gamete. This will be producing only one type of gamete, small w. Now if they are combining together, we'll be getting a number of F1 progenies. All the F1 progenies will be having the same genotype, that will be capital W, small w, capital W, small w. And also, you know, all the plants will be violet. All the F1 progenies will be violet. This will also be violet. Now we can conduct selfing of this F1 progenies. When this capital W is combining, you all know these are F2 progenies. We have got 3 violet and 1 white. Now the question is that if you have got a plant, if you have got an F2 violet flowered plant, so what is the genotype? Whether this genotype is capital W or capital W, small w. So we have to identify the genotype of this. If you take this one, homozygous and heterozygous, both will be having the same phenotype. We cannot differentiate. So now we have to check the genotype of a violet flower, F2 violet flower. This can have capital W, or this can have capital W, small w, because both will be having same violet color. This will also both are having the same violet color. Now we have to check. Now we have to check the genotype of an F2 violet. Now we have to check the genotype of a F2 violet flowered plant. Because if we take capital W, small w, both will be having the same violet color. This is also having violet and this is also violet. We are not sure about the genotype because both will be having the same phenotype. Then if you have got a violet flowered plant, how to determine the genotype of this violet? We can just conduct a test cross. So in this test cross, we are having a violet flowered F2 plant. This violet flowered F2 plant is having an unknown genotype. So we have to cross this violet flowered plant with its recessive parent. Remember, violet flowered plant is having unknown genotype. Since this is having violet flower color, at least one capital W should be there. The second allele can be capital W or small w. White flower of course will be having 2 small w. If we conduct this test cross in between violet and white flowered pea plants, there are actually 2 probabilities for the phenotype of progenies. There are 2 probabilities. Remember, in progenies there are 2 probabilities for phenotype. The first probability, all progenies have violet flower. Violet flower means all progenies are having dominant trait. Remember, here we are first observing the phenotype, and from phenotype we are coming to conclude the genotype of this unknown violet plant. So first probability is all progenies have violet flowers. We can just make a Punnett square. First of all, we have taken violet crossing white. And already we know one capital W is there, second is unknown. And when we are conducting this test cross, this parent will be producing 2 types of gametes. One will be having capital W, second gamete's genotype is actually unknown. So we can just put a hyphen here. What about the white flowered plant? This will also produce gamete, but all the gametes will be having small w, small w. Now we can just make a Punnett square. You already know about Punnett square. Punnett square is a graphical representation to identify the progenies and also their genotype. In this side, we can take the gametes of the violet flower. The first gamete will be capital W. The second gamete is unknown. And this side, we can take the gametes of white flowered plant. Already we know the genotype. This is small w. This is also small w. Now when we are crossing these plants, if capital W, small w is crossing, we will be getting capital W, small w. And in the same way, if you are crossing this one, we will get capital W, small w here. Then if we take the second gamete of this violet flowered plant, its genotype is unknown. Anyway, this gamete will be combining with this recessive parent's gamete. So we will be getting an unknown genotype. First part is unknown, but we know this small w, so we will be writing small w here. Here also we can put a dash, and also the second gamete is known. That now we have to identify the unknown genotype. But one point is already mentioned, phenotype is already understood, because we can easily observe the phenotype. The first probability we are considering all progenies have violet flowers. Even we are not knowing the genotype, but we know the phenotype of all the progenies. As we know the phenotype of all progenies, we can simply write here, all progenies are having violet flowers. You can write violet here. Everywhere we will be writing violet, because having two unknown genotype plants, this violet plant and this violet plant, genotype is unknown. How can we determine the genotype of this two violet plant? But its phenotype is known. Phenotype is violet. To get this phenotype or dominant violet, of course this genotype should be capital W, because the another allele is small w. If this unknown is also small w, this will be becoming white. But we have got violet. To get violet flowers, the second unknown allele should be capital W. So what is the conclusion here? If all progenies have violet flowers, or if all progenies are producing dominant trait, which will be the conclusion? The unknown, which will be the unknown allele here? The unknown allele will be dominant allele. This will be capital W. So we will be concluding this will be capital W. So that is the first probability. Now we can come to the second probability. Second probability is that 50% of the progenies will be having violet flowers or dominant trait, and 50% of progenies will be having white flowers, means recessive. We can conduct the same cross. Now we are not knowing the genotype, but now we know the phenotype, but we are not knowing the genotype. So we are taking the same violet flowered plant, and white flowered plant we will be taking here. Capital W, the second allele is unknown. Here we already know the two alleles. As we explained earlier, here also we are going to get the gametes capital W. The second part is unknown. This will be knowing that both will be small w, small w. We can draw a Punnett square. We can write capital W here, and this gamete genotype is unknown. But we know the genotype of this one, small w we already know. And also we know the phenotype of all the progenies. We know already 50% of the progenies are having white, and 50% of the progenies are having violet. And here we can consider 50% violet. Out of total 4 progenies, 50% will be violet and 50% will be white. Now we can conduct this cross. If capital W is crossing with this one, of course you know capital W, small w, this will be capital W, small w. The second part is unknown. So the first gamete genotype is unknown, but the second gamete is known. Here we will be having small w. Take these two gametes. The first part is unknown, but the second gamete's genotype we already know, that is small w. But we know the phenotype of all the progenies. 50% is violet and 50% is white. So how can we conclude the genotype of this individual? Already we know this unknown plant's phenotype, that is white, this is also white. And one part is also we know the second allele is small w, the first allele we are not knowing. If we need to get this white flower, which should be the genotype? Of course the allele should be small w. If it is capital W, this will be producing the dominant trait violet. But here we are getting white. Since this phenotype is white, of course this unknown allele should be small w. Here also we should be having small w because the phenotype is white. So what is the conclusion? In progenies, if you are getting 50% white and 50% violet, we will be having heterozygous genotype for unknown plants. So here we will be having small w, and here we can write small w. Here we will be having small w. The unknown genotype will be heterozygous if we are having 50% white and 50% violet. If all progenies are having violet flowers, what will be the conclusion? The unknown genotype will be homozygous, capital W, capital W. In the second probability, we will be having the genotype capital W, small w. In this way, we can determine the genotype of F2 plants. Now let us check some previously asked NEET and UGC CSIR NET questions. So first we will check some AIPMT questions, means it is NEET question. First question, a test cross involves. The first option, crossing between two genotypes with recessive trait. Example, small t crossing small t. You know this is not a test cross. So first option is wrong. The second option, crossing between two F1 hybrid. If we are using two F1 hybrids for our cross, that will be selfing. That is not test cross. So second option is also wrong. The third option, crossing the F1 hybrid with a double recessive genotype. F1 hybrid, you know, capital T crossing small t. F1 hybrid with a recessive genotype, this is a test cross. So the correct answer is 3. The fourth option, crossing between two genotypes with dominant trait. That is also wrong because we use one recessive parent in the test cross. So the fourth option is also wrong. The second question, in pea plants, yellow seeds are dominant. As you know, yellow seed color is a dominant trait to green color. If heterozygous yellow seed plant is crossed with a green seed plant, what ratio of yellow and green seed plants would you expect in F1 generation? So the cross is clearly mentioned here, heterozygous yellow. For heterozygous yellow, we can take capital Y, small y. Is crossing with a green. Of course, you know, green color is a recessive trait, so its genotype will be small y, small y. So the cross is capital Y, small y crossing small y. Then the question is that what ratio of yellow and green seed will be produced in the F1? You know, this will be producing two types of gametes, capital Y, small y. This will produce only one type of gamete, small y. If these two are combining, we will get capital Y, small y. Since there is a capital Y, its phenotype will be yellow. And next will be small y. This will be small y. Its phenotype will be green because there is no dominant gene. So the ratio will be 1 yellow is to 1 green. Means 50 is to 50 or 1 is to 1. That will be the answer. Correct answer is option 1. Next question. The genotype of a plant showing dominant phenotype can be determined by, you know, if you are not knowing the genotype of a plant which is having a dominant phenotype. Example, we are having a dominant phenotype tall. We are not knowing its genotype. It can be capital P, capital T, or it can be capital T, small t. So this plant is having an unknown genotype. So the genotype of a plant showing the dominant phenotype can be determined by. How can we determine the genotype? So the answer is very simple. Test cross. The option 3 is correct answer. First option, pedigree analysis, is wrong. Back cross is also wrong. You know, back cross, and this question is asked for AIPMT 2010. And next question, if two pea plants having violet colored flowers with unknown genotype. So we have two pea plant with violet flowers, means, you know, they are dominant. We can consider two violet flowered pea plants. We are crossing these two pea plants. If two pea plants having violet colored flowers with unknown genotypes are crossed, we are crossing these two, then 75% of the progenies produced violet flowers and 25% produced white flowers. So after crossing these two, we got two types of plant. 75% progenies produced violet and 25% produced white. Then what is the genotypic constitution of parents? We have to identify the genotype of these two. Now we can check the options one by one. So which is the first option? See here. The first option is both homozygous dominant. Suppose if we take capital Y capital, both are homozygous dominant, and this parent will be producing capital Y, this will also produce capital Y. Always all progenies will be capital Y capital Y. We will get 100% yellow. So first option is wrong. Now we can check the second option. So what is the second option? One homozygous and other heterozygous. We can check the second option, capital Y. One homozygous capital Y crossing capital Y small y. Then what is the result of this cross? This parent produce only one type of gamete. This will produce two types, capital Y small y. If these two are combining, we will get capital Y small y. Remember, here also we will get 100% yellow, because this is also yellow and this is also yellow. 100% yellow because this is homozygous, phenotype will be yellow. Even this is heterozygous, phenotype will be yellow. So second option is also wrong. Now we can check third option, both heterozygous. What happens if both of them are heterozygous? We can say capital Y small y crossing capital Y small y. This is heterozygous. This will produce capital Y small y. This will produce capital Y small y. If they cross capital Y, this will produce combine capital Y small y. This will be capital Y small y. This will be small y small y. The phenotype, the first three, of course you can say that they will be yellow color, because this is homozygous, heterozygous also yellow. This will only be green. So out of 4, 3/4 will be yellow and 1/4 will be green. Means 75% yellow, 25% green. The answer will be both are heterozygous. Both parents will be heterozygous. So the correct option will be 3. Now we have a question from CSIR NET June 2016. What is the genotype of a male Drosophila fly that has yellow body color and red eyes? Brown small y plus is dominant over yellow and red W plus is dominant over white. Both are carried on X chromosome. As you know, CSIR questions will be based on multiple contents. So here, for answering this question, first of all we should know what type of sex determination mechanism is there in Drosophila, and of course you know the law of dominance, and also you should know various symbols used for dominant and recessive alleles. So if you know all these things, you can easily answer it. We can check one by one. So first of all, we can check what type of chromosomes are present in male and female Drosophila, or to determine sex, what type of chromosome they are using. If we check male Drosophila will be having XY chromosome, and female Drosophila will be having XX chromosome. Means we can consider this as X chromosome, this as Y chromosome, X and Y chromosome, and female will be having 2 X chromosomes. Now we can check the character given in this question. The character given in this question is body color. For Drosophila, body color, they have 2 traits. They may have brown body color or yellow body color. Remember, these are the 2 traits of the character body color. Here we are following another method. We will consider the recessive trait here. Of course, you know yellow is the recessive trait. For yellow trait, we can take the small letter y. Yellow, you know, considering this yellow being recessive, we will take small letter y for recessive trait. And for the dominant trait, we will simply add y plus. Actually, the letter is taken from the recessive trait, but we will use the small letter for recessive trait, means small y for yellow, and we will just add a plus sign for the y to consider the dominant trait. or the dominant allele is small y plus. And one more character is given in this question, that is eye color. For eye color, we are having two traits. It can be red eye or white eye. Red eye color is dominant and white eye color is recessive. So you can easily say that taking this recessive trait, we can use small w to represent white eye color, and we can use a symbol small w plus for representing dominant trait, that is red. And one more point is mentioned in this question. These genes are located on X chromosome. Now we can come back to the question, what is the genotype of male Drosophila fly that has yellow body color and red eye? We have to check a male Drosophila and it should have yellow body color and red eye. You know, yellow body color means it is recessive trait and red eye color is dominant trait. As you know, this is a male Drosophila. For male Drosophila, we have one X chromosome and one Y chromosome. This is X chromosome and this is Y chromosome. You know, all these genes are located on X chromosome. For yellow trait, we can use a letter small y, because we know yellow is a recessive trait. For that we have to use small letter y. What about red color? For red eye color, you know, red eye color is a dominant trait. Of course, we should use small w plus. We can locate small w plus here, and we can also locate small y at this locus, because you know this small y and w plus are located on the X chromosome. We can write this chromosome X like this, and on this X chromosome we have w plus. So first we can consider w plus, and also we have small y, and we are also having another chromosome that we will be writing here. So this will be the answer, X small w plus y. So out of the given option, X small w plus y, this will be the correct answer. I hope you understood.